Everyone knows the complications of the criminal justice system and just how hard it can be for a common citizen. But imagine what it's like when the person you're fighting against is no one less than the Chief Minister of the state you live in. For Irom Chitra, who's in our studio today, the fight isn't just very difficult, it's also very, very personal. In 2011, her son, a teenager called Irom Rojer, was on holiday back in Imphal. And back home from college, when he went out for a drive with friends, Chief Minister Biren Singh, who was then a Congress minister, and now he's switched to the BJP, his son, Ajay, was also on the road. Now, in a case of apparent road rage, there was some kind of road being blocked, they honked, and Ajay was so angry, he wasn't giving way, and he was so outraged at being honked at that he came and shot Rojer close range. The next Irom Chitra saw of her young son was him lying dead on his hospital bed. And since then, this happened in 2011, it was a huge struggle to get the case registered, to fight for justice, to get the case transferred to a central agency like CBI. And now, even though he's in jail, she fears he's going to be let off. And so, for the past week or so, she has been camping here in the capital, and she's trying to meet the Prime Minister, she's trying to meet the Home Minister, and she's now here with her husband Irom Lokendra, to talk about their struggle as parents to get justice for their teenage son. Thank you very much for sharing your story with us. Irom Chitra, I just wanted to ask you, the details of your son's case are horrendous, but he did get conviction. CBI took up his case. We'll go into the details of that for our viewers in just a bit, how it was a struggle to even get the case moved and for CBI to fight that case, to start acting on it. But right now, it's been 5 years, well, 6 years since he was convicted. Now, why are you here? What is it that you're looking for? Because Supreme Court has issued notice to the center saying that you're being threatened. What is it that the Chief Minister's office, you feel, and others in Manipur are threatening you? आप हिंदी में बोलना चाहें तो आप हिंदी में भी बोल सकती हैं.
Okay, English से बोल. Just now, we want only justice, and I came here due to I want to meet Prime Minister and CBI Director also.
Right.
I want to request CBI Director to intervene, please. Then I want peace. This is not relating the politics. I never relate to politics. For only sons.
I know.
I knock all. I want to knock all the doors of the leadership, because they appeal to Manipur High Court. Because of that, I want to.
They appeal to Manipur High Court against the conviction.
Against the bail.
Right.
Just now.
Right.
Then they appeal. 5 years is very long like that. That also appeal. 2 appeal is there to Manipur High Court. Because of that, I want to CBI Director also, then Honorable PM also, I want to meet.
Have you been able to meet? That's why you've come to Delhi. Because
yes.
you fear, he's right now got bail. He's in jail right now. He's in jail?
Jail.
But you fear that he's going to get bail soon.
Yes.
And that is why you want the courts to intervene and say, no,
Yes.
you have to give us stringent punishment, and the full 7 years he should serve. or do you want more punishment as well?
No, this is not satisfied. I didn't have satisfied fully because this is murder case. 304 part 2 is not murder case.
Yes.
Murder case is 302. My son, only son is already dead. This is 302.
Culpable homicide, not murder.
And that also I am very unhappy. And they appeal to Manipur High Court. I don't want to arrange the Manipur High Court. I want transfer also. The Manipur didn't have CBI court.
Right.
Because of that, I want in anywhere.
So you have to imagine, for our viewers, I just want to point out how difficult the struggle is. First of all, for a straight conviction, which CBI has fought for, a mother's fight, because instead of 304, which you wanted, which CBI also charge sheeted. But the court refused to frame charges on it. It went for a lower case. And that is what the parents are unhappy with. Then the fact that for murder it was proved that it was only 5 years, that's something that the parents want to take up. And so why you couldn't go to High Court over there is because as soon as this happened, as soon as you started getting legal help, you were threatened?
No, before time I get threat. Just now I didn't have threat.
Earlier you had threats. And that's when it all gets complicated, and that's how even other people got threat. The family reached out to activists and they contacted a lawyer here in Supreme Court, Utsav Bains, who's also joining us right now. Utsav Bains, tell us, just to give people and our audiences at home an idea of how serious this is, just describe to people what happened as soon as you went to Manipur to try and find out about this case and try and help them out.
Well, I had visited Manipur in March on the invitation of noted women rights activist Bina Lakshmi Nepram. I spent 2 days here. I perused all the files, and after perusing all the files, I concluded that this is a case of murder and not 3042, as the mother has rightly pointed out. After my return to Delhi, I received threatening calls from terrorist organizations at the behest of the Chief Minister, asking me not to take up the case. I wrote a letter to the Home Secretary demanding adequate security on my return to Manipur, since we had to file an appeal, but again there was no reply. Finally, when I left for Manipur, we went to the High Court and prepared material and documents to file an appeal, but then started a vicious campaign on the directions of the Chief Minister of Manipur. The Chief Minister disconnected the lights of the house of the victim, Irom Chitra Devi, who's sitting in a studio right now. He also posted 2 jeeps of police commandos outside her residence, disconnected her electricity. He got arrested illegally, the brother of the mother's Irom Chitra Devi, and then he also directed a police raid at the home of noted women rights activist Bina Lakshmi Nepram, and apparently her parents, who are very old, were harassed by the police commandos. So this is an orchestrated campaign by the Chief Minister of Manipur to subvert and pollute the streams of justice, and it is a direct attack on the administration of justice. That is why I moved to the Supreme Court, and the Honorable Supreme Court has issued notices to the Manipur government and the Union government, asking them for a reply on this matter.
And what is it that ideally you'd like? Because in a way the CBI is saying, because we got in touch with the CBI as well, asking them about this case, and they said, look, we've done the best that we can. We've managed, we actually wanted for the most stringent murder charge, but the court is the one which reduced it. They also said that right now trial has been, your conviction is done from our side. What happens if he has been outside jail or not, that is between the court and the parties. What is it that you require from an agency, which was the investigating agency in this case, the CBI?
CBI did file a charge sheet under 302. They have done a good job. But unfortunately, I don't know, for the best reasons known to the agency, they did not file an appeal. It is the duty and the legal binding duty of the CBI to file an appeal against the acquittal of the son of the Chief Minister under murder charges, which unfortunately they did not, and due to which we have to now file a continuation of delay application at the registry at the Imphal High Court. So, I mean, the CBI should follow its duty and file an appeal as soon as possible to ensure justice to the mother of the victim.
Okay, so we've been trying reactions from the state. Till now we haven't. We're just hoping to get some kind of reaction from them as well. As I told you, the CBI claims that they have no answer for why they haven't filed an appeal. They say they have gotten, and they're also saying you've tried to meet the CBI director.
Yes.
But they haven't met you till now. They are saying that we have no information, but they are willing to meet you right now. If you were going to meet the Prime Minister or the Home Minister as you're trying to do, what would you tell them?
Nothing is getting.
Nothing is getting done. You need help.
Yes.
Especially because of the threats that you're getting.
Threats also, and for case transfer also.
Case transfer to Delhi. So that it is looked at over again with the stringent charge, not of homicide, but of actual murder,
Yes, yes.
which CBI actually had.
Yes.
The Supreme Court actually has the power, Utsav Bens, to order a reinvestigation or a retrial with a stronger charge, or what is it that you would want? What would be an ideal situation?
Well, Supreme Court has all the powers under the Constitution. Under its inherent powers, it has even the power to order a retrial. And the Supreme Court also has the power to transfer the case to another High Court. And I think that would be a perfect thing for the family. And it is also important that the rule of law and the streams of justice should not be under any kind of constraint, because the Chief Minister is a very powerful man in Manipur, and he has not only the ability, but he has shown an active interest in subverting and polluting the streams of justice until now. And that is the reason the Honorable Supreme Court had issued notices day before yesterday to the Manipur government, since there was misuse of the office of the Chief Minister in the case.
Right.
So I think that ideally the case should be transferred to another High Court and heard, and on the merits of the case, the accused should be given appropriate punishment.
And just for our viewers as well, just how difficult this has been for the last 5 years or since then, that even for him to go to jail, you believe that he hasn't been in jail, that he's been leaving jail outside as well and going out?
Just now, I don't know exactly. Some rumor is there.
Some rumor, which is what you put in your petition in Supreme Court as well. That's what we saw in your application, which you put to Supreme Court. The other thing I want to ask you is, even for the probe to get started, you had to meet some leaders here in Delhi in 2011 before they started working. Tell us about that.
On the time, only 2 or 3 days, I application submitted, and only 2 or 3 days call from them by phone. Then I met them.
And that's how it all got started. Well, it is a tremendous fight, a tremendous struggle to get justice. It just gives an insight into how difficult it can be to deal with the criminal justice system. We're going to take a short break now. When we come back, Neelam Katara, another mother who fought with really powerful people as well, just like Irom Chitra, to talk about how she sees Irom Chitra's case and her fight for justice. Stay with us. Welcome back on Agenda. We have Irom Chitra and Irom Lokendra, parents of a teenager who in 2011 was the victim of road rage. The person who was the father of the accused is now the Chief Minister of Manipur, and the parents claim that so many years later, All he got was only 5 years in jail. They fear he's going to be let off soon, and they fear threats. They are facing threats. In fact, no lawyer wants to take up their case. That's why they've had to take legal help all the way in Delhi. They're now in Delhi, and somebody who knows about fighting is, of course, Neelam Katara, who joins us now to talk about this. Neelam Katara, you're very familiar with this story, and we are all very familiar with your struggle to try and get justice for your son when you were up against the powerful. Here, perhaps, Irom Chitra's story must really echo with you, because she is also trying to do the same. What would you think of the fight? What do you think of her story so far?
I think her fight is really difficult because she's lost her son. Then she is fighting against the powerful not in Delhi, where you're so much in the eye of the media and everybody else. So it's really, and I think it's very brave of her, in spite of threats from the people in power, from the police. She has traveled all the way here to ask help from the center. And I think it's extremely brave of her, and I can absolutely understand her angst. And it is a shame what happens in our country, that the sons of the rich and the powerful can literally get away with murder. And what is responsible for this is that all our political parties have got together. Nobody is speaking against decriminalization of the parliament.
Other things that must also sound familiar to you is that what she is saying, what Irom Chitra is saying, is that she knew that he was convicted. He was supposed to spend 5 years in jail, and yet 5 years plus 2 years, and yet she was aware that he had got bail. That's something you saw with the perpetrators, the murderers of your son as well.
I don't know the reasons on basis of which he is applied for bail, and the government is not contesting his bail. But unless there's a very valid reason, I don't see why the CBI is not contesting this bail.
Very briefly, I wanted to ask you that if there is one thing, you have, it seemed like you went to Supreme Court, you fought the good fight from trial to High Court to Supreme Court. She has had to skip the High Court and go straight to Supreme Court, and is just starting out. Is there any simple advice that you can give her from one mother to another?
If there is a way where the case can actually be heard in outside Manipur, that would really be useful, because with the same government at the center and the state, this lady is really going to have a tough time. So I think she needs to be in the limelight, and her case needs to be heard here, because it is really sad. I mean, the northeastern states are where we need to take care of the people, because we don't want to have a Kashmir kind of problem happening there. And if so many people are going to be unhappy and dissatisfied, it's not good for anyone, not good for the mother, not good for the country.
Well, that's great advice. Something for the family to think about as well. Thank you, Neelam Katara, for speaking to us about Irom Chitra's case. So she's saying exactly what you all have been thinking as well of a transfer. We are also joined by Mr. Arun, who is the media advisor to the Chief Minister in Manipur. Mr. Arun, thank you first of all for speaking to NDTV. What would you say about the parents' fears over here? The parents are here. They fear for their life. Their lawyers, they haven't been able to get proper legal access in Manipur for what they want to, how they want to pursue the case. They fear it's coming straight from the Chief Minister. What would you say about that?
The matter is now lying in the court of this Honorable Supreme Court, and law will take its own course. We sympathize with the family, but we have nothing more to comment on that.
Mr. Arun, you wouldn't deny the fact that there are these families, they are facing threats and they haven't been given protection?
No, I don't have the facts. The police have investigated. It's under investigation, and the matter is lying in the Supreme Court, and I cannot comment on something which is lying in the Supreme Court.
So all you're saying is that you have sympathy with them. Can you ensure their safety, sir, in Imphal, even if they pursue the case against the Chief Minister's son? Can you give an assurance of their safety and their lawyer's safety?
All citizens will be given, including the family, they will be given security and safety. They will feel assured. They must feel assured, because I don't see any threat coming in the future.
Mr. Arun, thank you for speaking to us. That's, of course, the Chief Minister's media advisor speaking. Do you feel hopeful? As a final word, I want to ask you. You don't feel hopeful? We wish you all the best. I know it's very difficult for you to speak about this. Lokendra ji and Chitra ji, thank you very much for coming and sharing your story. Thanks for watching.